Carpe's Corner. So happy that you're here. So take a seat, have a tea, or grab yourself a beer. Here at Carpe's Corner, we'll learn about our lives. And in between, you might decide to exercise your rights. It's Carpe's Corner. Carpe's Corner. Welcome to Carpe's Corner. Don't forget reviews. Comment, like, and subscribe is all you gotta do. Here at Carpe's Corner, please appreciate our guests. And just remember, everyone's got something on their chest. In Carpe's Corner. Carpe's Corner. In Carpe's Corner, there'll be no borders. It's Carpe's Corner. We're so glad that you are here.
Welcome. Hello, welcome to another episode of Carpe's Corner. Had some audio problems here. I was trying to get Mark Dice in here, and I had a whole bunch of cool stuff all worked out, and then it all sort of fell apart. So, you guys hearing me just fine? Hopefully you're hearing me. I'm sure they'll let me know if they're not. But my guest today on Carpe's Corner is Mark Dice. So I'm going to bring him on here. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. We got you on.
I'm here.
Hopefully everybody can hear you.
Happy Friday, everybody. Happy 90 days out from the election, or was it 88 days now?
Oh, it's ridiculous days out, I think, is what we're at.
I'm just glad, though, because finally we can talk about something else other than coronavirus and the riot.
Yeah. Are you tired of hearing about that? Because I personally never get tired of hearing about the coronavirus at all.
Was it been 4 months now? You know? I was tired after a week.
I think we're in the decades now. I think it's been decades long now.
It's been 4 years almost. I actually missed the Russiagate days, though, because it was actually kind of fun. Like, it did feel like Groundhog Day because it was the same story over and over again, and just coming up with all their new conspiracies, from the Russians using video games to, what's that, Hilltendo, like, did you see that? And now...
I must have missed that one. What was that one?
Oh, dude, somebody made a game where Hillary is like the character, and you have to hide her emails from, and all this stuff.
Oh, so like it was like 8-bit, like original NES, Nintendo.
It was something on the PC. It looked, like a kind of a Nintendo quality, maybe like a Genesis quality game. Yeah. And I tried to find it. I want to play it. It looked like a good game.
I think I might know who did that.
Well,
there's a guy that I'm friends with, and he makes a lot of, like, he made Mega Man. The Mega Man. But
they said it was Trump. They said it was another Russian plot to try to influence the election. Literally, well, that's what they did.
It's probably my friend. And
that was a lot more fun though. Those days. Then, and then impeachment kind of sucked, and then the coronavirus sucked. The Black Lives Matter riots.
Ukraine sucked a lot.
And now, at least Joe Biden's going to be providing us with a lot of comedic material already. I mean, he gave his first interview in months just yesterday, and gave us all sorts of great sound bites.
It was hilarious.
I mean, and then I missed the one. I haven't seen it, but I heard about it, that he called Arizona a state. Arizona's a crucial, or a city. Arizona's a crucial city.
Crucial city, yeah.
So I need to go find that. But gotta love Joe, man. I mean, like, he'll be the comic relief in these tough times that we all need.
Yeah, I mean, he's been... Like, what are we doing right now? Like,
nobody knows.
How is this guy that like I have a hard time spitting out sentences because I'm an idiot. Okay, but like this guy's running for president, and he can't like there are things that I keep a lot of my brain on Google. So I just offload some of that stuff onto Google so that I don't have to remember all the capitals of every country and all that kind of stuff. But if you're running for president, can you really get away with like not knowing where you are?
No. And especially, dude, at his age, he should be worried about what time he's going to go fishing, and
right.
Like what
his grandchildren's names are.
Yeah, or maybe like some project that him and his grandkids are going to do out in the in the garage or in the wood shop or something. Like, I mean, at that age, he really should. It's so sad, and everybody knows it. But the game of politics, you can't admit. The cardinal rule is to not admit that any fault of your own side. So they just got to be scared to death. And that's why there are New York Times. Multiple people are saying that he should skip the debates. Clinton's former press secretary said he should skip the debates, and then little Brian Stelter goes on and says that that's a Fox News conspiracy theory.
Say it like Brian Stelter would say it.
That's just a right-wing talking point, a right-wing Fox News fantasy. And then he got owned again. I mean, it's his role in life, I think. It's like,
it's just a fantasy. I don't know what these guys are doing.
Since all he does is watch Fox News, he just assumes since they're talking about something, it's something that originated from.
He's got to watch it like 12 hours a day. Like he has to.
Oh, sure. No, that's his job.
Yeah.
I mean, there's compilations of him, talking about Fox News, and it's just Fox News. Yesterday on Fox News, Tucker Carlson.
I want to say thank you for the video you did the other day. That was amazing. I commented on YouTube and I said that was the best thing you've ever done. It truly was the best thing you've ever done. You've done a lot of great things, but
I do appreciate that. And I did. It came together better than I thought. Like in my head, I was like, this would be kind of a good idea, And then once it kind of like really came together with all the B-roll and everything, it's like, okay, this should be pretty good. But it didn't go as viral as I thought it would. Like I guess that's probably.
It's hard with YouTube though. Like if you want it to go viral on Twitter, you really have to you have to put it in Twitter.
I know.
Otherwise, that's what got me in so much trouble with the copyright stuff. Is that like if I just put it on YouTube, I don't get in trouble because they either take it down.
Watching. Yeah. The enemy's not really watching on YouTube. It's Twitter is where the enemies have all their eyes on you, and just the way the way that the setup is done, you can bounce something in front of your enemy's eyes easier than on YouTube.
Right.
You could glance over a tweet in 2 seconds and see what it is, whereas you might have to wait 20, 30 seconds in a YouTube video to get to something, and people just aren't going to have the time. So,
well, and I think you can get away with a lot on YouTube because things can be buried 50 minutes into an hour-long stream.
Yep.
And on Twitter, I mean, it's all out there in the first 2 minutes, or 2 minutes and 20 seconds is all you get. But I mean, I thought it was great, and I thought it deserved to go way more viral too. But you should do a condensed version, one that fits into 220 if possible, and then put that, because that'll go nuts.
Yeah, I have what I think I was going to do this weekend is upload it natively to Twitter and Facebook as well to see, but. Well, see, even Facebook's tough, though, because everything gets shadow banned. Dude, their AI is so hardcore that they know when you're plugging product, even if you don't put a link to it. If you just say, hey...
Yeah, it detects it and it pops up, right?
Check out my new shirt. Like, their AI is getting probably so close to human level that it knows, check out my new shirt. He's plugging product. It's a plug, trying to drive traffic off-site. It's just so sophisticated now.
So did they just start... doing content ID? Because I got hit with a DMCA, or not a DMCA, but I guess it was a DMCA from Facebook today for a video of Nick Sandman from a year and a half ago or 2 years ago.
No, they've been doing it for a while, but you might
Somebody must have manually done it, I guess.
They might have manually done it. They might have had whoever owned the rights to that clip, let's say MSNBC or somebody, might have hired a new content moderator and is going through and looking. There's so many different factors. They might have changed. Let's say if somebody uses 10 seconds of a video, they may not care, but then you can go through and you can see what percentage of an original video somebody used. So they might have just been looking through it and said, used 25% of our clip, block. I think
it was Paramount. Paramount was, I forget, but it was a big company. So it's possible they got.
What was the clip that you used?
Well, it was a song. I think it was I think it was either "Won't Back Down" or it was "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins.
Yep. Or that record label might have finally just got up with the times and signed Content ID. Have you noticed that? I know you're not on Twitter anymore, so maybe you haven't noticed, but Fox News finally started tweeting again. They quit tweeting, I don't know, last
for like 2 years
when Tucker Carlson's house got assaulted by Antifa, they sort of as a protest, they quit tweeting. And then because of the coronavirus, I think they started up again, probably just to reach, people. And whatever boomer is using the Fox News social media account doesn't understand that now you should put the title with the link, because if you just post a link, then the title of the article that you're posting gets buried and cut off at the very bottom. So I don't know when that kind of changed, but probably a couple years ago. And every tweet from Fox News is just them posting a link, whereas every single other news organization, every other person on the planet that's under the age of 70 is posting the link and adding the title because they know that the title gets cut off. So I'm tweeting to them, hoping maybe they're paying attention. I'm verified. Maybe they're checking their verified mentions. I'm like, hey, maybe get with the times. I called Fox News. I'm like, trying to help them. I'm like, hey, you guys need to kind of get up with the time. This is last week, dude. And still haven't done anything. I called the control room. I have a number from the actual control room from when I was a guest back in 2015. Yeah, had me on. So I called them. I was like, hey, it's me. You guys, I gave him the elevator pitch. I'm like, you guys need to, whoever's running your social media, you need to add the title, blah, blah, blah. You should tell them,
do you have a phone number for that department? I mean,
and then they hung up. I tried Fox News.
I think Hannity's running the Twitter account now. I think that's what's going on.
Dude, he actually handed, and I'm sure most of them do, because it's got to be so tempting to get on there and fire off something and reply to somebody. So Hannity said that he doesn't even have access to his account.
Well, he doesn't have access to it anymore because, he gave it up because he got hacked. I think he clicked on something bad. This was, I don't know, 6 months, a year ago, and he was hacked and was tweeting a bunch of weird things, and then he dropped all the people he was following. He dropped all of those people, and then he just was like, I'm not going to tweet anymore. This is now a managed account.
Well, and he said on his radio show that he doesn't want to be tempted to say something stupid because it could be, midnight and whatever, a Friday, you have a couple drinks, you see somebody tweeting something stupid. And, I mean, that's a career wrecker right there.
Yeah, he's had a glass of wine and watched two diagnose this murder, and he's like, I'm going to tweet something.
Or just watch a segment from CNN, and you're so wound up, you're just like, oh, F you. I
like Hannity, but he's my favorite one to sort of rag on for being an old boomer. But, yeah.
Well, thank God we got Tucker, though. I mean, he's
my God, yes.
Savior of Fox News. And thankfully, Mike Lindell, My Pillow, is keeping him afloat. Because they've been eroding his advertisers.
Yeah, Mike Lindell's going to have 3-minute segments. Yeah. And they're not actually segments. They're just his commercials. Everybody else is pulling out.
Dude, I love how he's interrupting his commercial to bring you another commercial now. I interrupt this commercial to bring you more disco. All right, man.
He invented that, by the way, because he did in one of his first ads. I remember it was it was the couple in the bathroom, and they open up the medicine cabinet, and he's in there. Yeah. And he's like, I'm just here to interrupt this commercial to tell you,
Oh, okay. So I didn't catch that, but the guy's a genius. He was at.
He is. He was at CPAC. Yeah. I saw him at CPAC. I didn't actually talk to him, but I saw him there.
I'm going to try to get him on my show. As you know, I've been doing interviews. I'll get you on at some point. Trying to get a couple,
anytime, just sometime. Whatever.
Well, I've only done 3 interviews, and I haven't even done them. At first, I'm like, I'll do once a week, and then I just get so caught up with the news cycle. Yeah. I'm just like, okay, you know how it is. Just trying to juggle a million different things. I'm like, I got a whole list of people that I want to invite on, but I haven't even sent them invites. And I actually have been, I think I told you this on the phone, I've been meaning to do interviews for 4 years.
Right.
That's how much I bite off more than I can chew, because after the 2016 election, I'm like, all right, man, I'm going to start doing interviews with people. And then finally, almost 4 years later, I did it. So
that's where you got your start, though, isn't it? You were doing interviews on the street interviews, right?
Fan of the street interviews, yes. But I mean, just interviews with normal people over Skype.
Yeah.
I want to switch it up and figured, do some serious stuff, get some cool people on. A lot of people have a lot of good stuff to say. Even Fox News is only going to give you 7-minute segments,
if that.
So yeah,
I mean, they have some people on there that I'm like, you gave him 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's 2.5 to 3.5 minutes or 4 minutes.
They always have people on, and I'm like, I wish they would give him like 10 minits because this guy's like really interesting, or this lady's got a real point.
That's why the alternative media has thrived in the podcast format and long format, because they didn't think that would work, or maybe for whatever reason the demos that they were going at, they just need that quick cut. If there's a 15-minute interview and somebody doesn't like it, then they're going to change the channel. So they just figure their formula was, all right, if you don't like this guest, if you don't like the segment, 3 minutes later it's going to change to something else. It's like flipping through a magazine, just looking at headlines.
It's a reflection of culture, that it's got like basically a 3-minute attention span.
Oh, dude, one of my favorite books. I have it right here. Amusing Ourselves to Death. Neil Postman. And this is like, he wrote this in like 1985, dude. And he's a media analyst, like a real media analyst, not like Brian Stelter's a media analyst. And he really breaks down how television culture has affected society, because it is like a soundbite culture versus print.
Right.
It's eroded the culture. Before television, newspapers and magazines and things like that had extensive coverage on issues, and then television is just the 3-second soundbite.
Decades. Yeah. Yeah. The Titanic went down today. Speaking of boats, have you seen these new shoes that they're wearing around the town? And you're like, what? And that one gets 30 seconds, by the way. The viral video of the kangaroos in the backyard gets 30 seconds. Right. Somebody's saying we don't have sound for Mark. No, we've had it. We've had it. I know that for sure.
Was it just a lag in Skype? The quality of your program is still better than Seth Meyers on whatever show he's hosting from his attic on a Hewlett-Packard.
Let's see. How about now?
Check 1, 2. I don't know if anybody's...
Okay, there you go.
I'm back.
Is he back? He's better now. Hearing now. Okay.
I think we talked about this on the phone. One of the great few joys to come out of these last few months was watching the late night talk show hosts struggle to become YouTubers when they couldn't have a show at home.
Yeah, like Cuomo.
Yeah, dude, he had, after weeks, he finally got an external microphone so that they don't have that weird Skype sounding thing from using the webcam mic. So they finally figured out to put a microphone on him, and they didn't switch that to the input. Okay, because
it was still using the same crap.
Yeah, because the audio engineers are so used to television stuff that they had no idea. They don't know how Skype works. I think they were using Cisco WebEx, which is basically the same thing. But you have to literally, it's very very easy. You go into audio settings and you choose which microphone you want.
Right.
And they didn't do it. And you can tell because the audio was still exactly the same. Like if you have a keen ear, if once you're made aware of it, or if you're kind of, in the industry like we are, you could just tell that Skype audio sound when you're not using. And then finally here we are, 5 months into the pandemic. Some of them are now using external mics, like a little Yeti or something like that.
Yeah.
They figured it out. But dude, imagine like Jeff Zucker, or no audio engineer, nobody watching CNN is watching Fredo from his basement and be like, why does the audio sound like crap?
Like how did that get by everybody at CNN?
For months,
they're like, can we do something about his audio?
Yeah, weeks. Not even just like a day. Like you'd think the next day they'd figure out, somebody would know. Yeah, oh man, okay. So
imagine if Cuomo lived like near a train or something. Like they were just
an external microphone. Yeah, we get him an external microphone. That'll fix it. Still doesn't work. Why does it still sound like crap? Oh, yeah, because we didn't select that microphone as the input. I mean.
Hey, Dave, did I send you over there to give him a microphone? Yeah. Did you turn it on? Oh, no, I forgot that. Oh, I'm sorry.
I guarantee you that they were like watching YouTube.
And Cuomo's over there lifting the microphones as weights.
Such clowns, man. Although I got to hand it to Shannon Bream is still doing her show from home, okay? And she does little cell phone footage behind the scenes sometimes, and you can see, and she's just got like probably a 70-inch monitor or something behind her.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you didn't know, you really couldn't tell. I mean, it looks great. It sounds great. Her producers were on top of it right away, but good old Fredo. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. That's your mic.
That's
your camera here. I am at home. I'm not in my basement, but I'm in my living room. You're in your kitchen. You're not currently in your kitchen, but you always say that you're in your kitchen.
I did venture out of the kitchen. The kitchen is about 5 feet from me, but sometimes for interviews, I will put a webcam on a little tripod and put it over here just so it looks a little bit better, just so I don't have like a green screen.
So what you're saying is that I'm not special enough for a tripod? Is that what you're?
No, I'm saying you are special. So
okay.
Yeah. As opposed to just sitting in the kitchen with the green screen, behind me, because I don't know. I mean, I guess you could in your After Effects, you could do a green screen on mine. But.
I could do a live green screen on you if you were sitting.
Oh, you could.
Yeah, like that. That's how technically advanced we are here right now.
That's pretty good.
I've got lights all over the place. I had the first interview I did. I had terrible audio problems.
I heard.
Yeah, and so that's never happened again. And I immediately went and got better microphones, better stuff, better setup. But I mean, this is a solid setup for sitting in my house.
No, it's great.
This is amazing. Technology is amazing.
But a lot of
Chris Cuomo can't do this.
No,
Chris Cuomo can't.
All of CNN, $8 billion company, couldn't do that, dude. They literally couldn't figure out to use an external microphone for weeks, and then once they did, they couldn't put the input in.
So I got a couple things to say here. Somebody says thanks for destroying Mark's Stelter, Mark. So somebody's very thankful for that.
You're welcome. It is
a grateful nation.
Dude, I have people, I don't have as many connections as you do, but I just got like a couple in the news industry, and they have told me that many, I don't want to say all, but many people in the news industry are
appreciate
and love it and like share the videos and stuff like that. I sent the last one to one of the guys. I was like, hey, just I'm sure this will be worth your time. And he's like, oh no, I already saw it. I need Tucker Carlson to play it on air.
Yeah.
He did post one of my videos on his personal Facebook page, or the Facebook page of the show.
Yeah.
But I do have two more.
That's a very elusive. You're in a very tight knit group there. Like he doesn't post a lot of stuff.
I don't know. I don't use Facebook, so I don't know if they're just posting stuff from the show. But somebody gave me the heads up. They're like, dude, Tucker posted it, and I just need Tucker to post it, and then I need Trump to post it, and then my life's goals up to this point will be achieved. You know.
Well, I mean, you got to shoot high. I mean, that's a pretty high standard there.
It may happen, and literally, like Trump retweeted me last week for the first time, and you're used to it. I don't know, like the first time Trump posted one of your stuff, you're probably pretty amazing, kind of surreal, right? And then you kind of get used to it, I would imagine. And I saw his icon in my notifications, and I thought, oh, okay, and it's probably somebody just using his picture,
right?
But I was just curious, so I clicked on it. I was like, oh no, dude, it was actually him, And then I was a little worried, And then one of my buddies texted me, and he's like, dude, it's like, oh, this is big time, and I'm like, no, this might actually be a problem. Like, I don't know if I want that kind of attention because, people who get retweeted by him, it just makes the news. Oh, Trump retweeted.
Yeah, it's immediately news.
And he said this other thing 5 years ago,
and Mark Dice makes voices on the internet of Brian Stelter, and this is not okay. We should destroy him.
Doctored videos.
Doctored videos.
CNN's broadcasts. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't want to brag or anything, but yeah, it's a lot less like of a big deal anymore. He just tweeted one of my videos like 2 days ago. Oh, he loves the Trump forever. Like, right. I mean, I think that's his favorite video that's ever been made, I think. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I congratulate you because it is a big thing. The first time it ever happened, it was just insane.
Yeah.
And I think I've been thoroughly vetted at this point. If nothing's come out yet bad about me, I think we're okay after like 2 years.
Yeah.
But I got a super chat here. It says Google Rewards gave me $5 and I want Carpe to have it. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you, Tater Nubs. Whoever Tater Nubs is.
Speaking of getting canceled for old stuff, some former, I guess he wasn't a classmate of Ellen DeGeneres, but she's coming under fire because her producers are a bunch of perverts and the dysfunctional work environment and stuff, and allegedly harassing, coworkers and stuff like that. So there were calls for Ellen to get canceled. And then in the New York Post, I think earlier this week, an article came out from somebody who said that he was bullying her when he was 11 years old. Like,
he was bullying her?
Or she was bullying him.
Oh, she was bullying him.
She was bullying him when he was 11 years old. Like 40 years ago or something. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
I never got over Ellen. She was so mean to me.
Yeah.
It was so rough.
I did get a Facebook message a couple years ago from a girl that I did used to bully. And she said, you haven't changed at all. And then, and I apologized for being mean to her. So I don't know what that meant, because I was always like a screwball and whatever.
Yeah.
Hopefully she doesn't hold that kind of grudge, like, oh my God, 25 years ago when we were in middle school, he was mean to me.
When I was in school, Mark Dice threw a ball at me and hit me in the head. My nose hurts.
Shot a spitball at me in the middle of the test. And
well, I think we should be doing the Brian Stelter voice when I was in school, Mark Dice was mean to me at recess.
Dude, somebody sent me his high school yearbook photo, and
was that in the video?
No, I forgot to include it. Okay. Like I had it, but I do have it, and I had to verify. I still have to double check because I still can't believe it. But I've just done some preliminary checking, and it appears to be a high school yearbook, not college, and he is already severely balding, dude. And I have to be make fun of that, but it's just he has always looked, he's always looked like he's 40 years old.
Yeah.
And I guess
I couldn't believe he was 34. I absolutely couldn't believe he was 34 when somebody said that. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But
it's
all right. Like, see, I mean, I got this stuff going on,
and it is kind of low. That is kind of low ball. But it is.
But I'm almost 40
to see that he hasn't changed. He's been Brian since high school.
He was, well, you did have that one photo in the montage there that was pretty young, and when he still had a little bit of hair, but he was still it was back up to here, I think.
Well, that was when he was like skinny too.
Yeah.
And dude, he's been doing that show since like 2013 or something. Like literally, like nobody had ever heard.
Is it 7 years old?
Dude, I think so.
That's unbelievable.
So,
I mean, how could you not find a show to fill that spot in 7 years?
Well, how could you do a show for 7 years and nobody knows who you are until 2016, and then
until somebody makes fun of you?
Yeah, that was like it was kind of like a true story, Like, yeah, no, I did discover him, and I should send him a bill for the management.
I loved when Tucker sent him donuts. I thought that was great.
Oh, dude, I sent him and a bunch of other people at CNN a copy of my book. A few years ago, like in 2017, the true story of fake news, just to kind of troll them, just to like get the seed planted in their mind, and be old school, because everybody tweets and whatever, they're not going to see that. But if somebody sends them like a physical object, like old school style, like, fan mail back in the day, I figured it's going to land on their desk. So, and I like, sent them, some of them like personal messages and stuff like that. So, and I did also send it to everybody at Fox News too, but just to plant the little seed in their mind that I'm a multi-faceted person.
You've got dimensions to you, Mark.
Yeah.
People got to see the dimensions.
He pigeonhole me as just some guy who puts farting sounds on clips of CNN. I'm more than that.
You've got more than that.
I'm more than that. That may be what's saving me though, because like I do see some of these other YouTubers, much more popular than, and I see like they just get so much heat from mainstream media just complaining about them, and all these other people coming after them, and sometimes I'm a little jealous. It's like, man, how come people can't hate me that much? Like why am I getting ignored? And it may be that just they tend to be like more serious, and so maybe they're seen as more of a threat for like promoting policies and ideologies and stuff like that, whereas people see my stuff and they just like roll their eyes and think I'm just an idiot, Well,
I also think you do a really good job of sort of knowing where the boundaries are of things too. Like, so there are some people that just don't, and I've put myself in that same category of knowing where the boundaries are, but apparently I didn't know them good enough because I still got banned from Twitter. But I mean, the stuff that you do is wholesome, good fun, which I think a lot of people like, and I think it's really hard for the left to attack that stuff because it's really hard to find fault with it. Like, I mean, what are they going to say about you? I mean, they would
bad jokes, sexist jokes,
yeah,
racist jokes, and that's why that's humor is the ultimate weapon, man, and that's why we need to just laugh at them. Like I just tweeted. I just had this random thought. I tweeted. I was like, the only way to deal with people bringing up white privilege, or the proper way to deal with anybody who brings up white privilege, is to just laugh at them.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. I mean, you have to just mock them and laugh at them. I don't even think engaging them in a serious debate is even
they don't want one
anymore because they're so insane.
Yeah, they don't want a debate.
They have to be mocked.
And at this point, there's a lot of people that will just straight up admit they're like, I don't want a debate.
Oh no,
I've gotten this a few times on just on my own personal Facebook. Is I'll make a comment to like a friend of mine or something, and they've posted something, and I say, well, that's not actually correct, and they'll literally say, I don't want to have a debate about this. I'm like, well, then why did you post it?
Well, it's like, just like when Ice Cube posted a video of the officer who killed George Floyd, and they posted a side-by-side image of him with an infamous troll, Jonathan Lee Riches, with a MAGA hat on, or like kind of a racist style MAGA hat, right?
Right.
And it did look kind of like the guy.
A little bit.
And so then Ice Cube posted it. And then everyone's dragging him in the comments, like, dude, that's not him. And then everybody says, well, it still doesn't matter because he is racist anyway. Like, and they don't know, dude. Like, the guy could have like a black wife or like you don't know his intentions or anything. But you debunk what is clearly fake news, and then Twitter finally got around to adding the label on it, right? Did you see that? They added manipulated media. The first time they ever did it to a liberal ever.
Yeah, they've done it
on Ice Cubes.
Yeah, on him, and then Deborah Messing from the Will and Grace.
What did she post?
She posted something that was just blatantly false, and they after 12 hours or something, after 30,000 retweets.
Yep.
Then they posted the.
And the only reason they do that is, I think, because finally members of Congress are getting involved. And that's why it may be a blessing in disguise that like Rand Paul has been censored from YouTube. Some of these other more, Dan Bongino's, kind of a mainstream guy, Fox News contributor and stuff. So not like a YouTuber, no disrespect to him, but he's not, in the YouTube category.
Not in the purest sense of the word. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but having somebody like him who has a little more connections, a little more respect amongst members of Congress getting stuff censored. I think he had a video taken down as well of, mentioning Eric Michael Say's name, right?
Yeah.
So, and then finally that's what got him to wake up, because somebody like me, I've been tracking this for years. And, I think 2017, my book, The True Story of Fake News, came out and had a whole chapter in there on YouTube and about how everything has changed. And it's changed even more since.
Right.
And, that's why I'm like sending copies to a bunch of people, and all these people have no idea what this is going on. I'm like, hey, here it is. Read the YouTube chapter. Crickets. And now finally, Josh Hawley and all these people are paying a little more attention, but they still don't know what the hell is going on.
Well, there's a few of them that have been pushing for a while, but what's aggravating to me is that like you and I have been talking about this current issue since 2016, and now we're like late 2020 with like less than 100 days till the election, and now there's just now starting to say, oh, maybe we should work on this social media thing. We're like, oh, now it's okay to do it, or you're giving us permission to work on it now? Oh my God, thanks.
Well, at least, the social media summit last year was a great step, a great symbolic step, a great networking opportunity for all of us, influencers and things. And it's, but even still, like, it's a little bit late in the game. And, but then now, hey, Trump, we tried to tell you, they're censoring his tweets. We've been trying to tell you, dude. Yeah. So hopefully.
Yeah, we knew this was coming. They showed their hand.
Yeah, and they don't care.
Yeah, like they haven't even been sneaky about it.
No.
Like there's so many ways they could have been sneaky about it. I know there's the shadow banning and stuff like that, but they're not even sneaky
spite.
About that.
No, it's they're doing it out of spite. I think wasn't it like the day after President Trump issued the executive order to have the FCC clarify Section 230 that they censored one of his tweets, I think, for the first time. Wasn't like literally like the next day he issued the executive order, or they put a fact check on his tweet, or they did something the very next day or 2 days later, and just out of spite, because it's like, hey, you're gonna come for us, they're gonna come, they're gonna.
Yeah, it was what was it? It was I think it was the one about kids, the where they were taking what he said, where he was saying that kids are basically immune to coronavirus.
No. I'm talking like a couple months.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think
the first time they censored him was when they pulled down my video, the REM one. That was the first time
when they issued the fact check, or the
first fact check.
What about the first fact checkers? Or they did something the very next day, or maybe the fact check sparked the executive order, and then the next day they did something again. Yeah.
Well, they love to do that. They love to just get fire back and be like, no, we're going to do whatever we want to do.
And that's why, I urge all of your audience to literally save Congress' phone number in your phone, and, the switchboard, get the extension, get the direct line for your congressman, get the fax number, if you got a fax machine, virtual fax machine now. We need to start going old school, because you could tweet to these people. 99.9% of them aren't even going to read the tweets. Even the staff's not going to do it. It's going to get lost in a sea of tweets. And so we need to start calling. And I've spoken with the staff of numerous members of Congress and then followed up by sending them, physical copies of stuff. And that's what we need to do, because complaining about it on social media, even if you tag them in the tweets and the Facebook, it's not going to do anything. We need to flood their phones. We need to flood their faxes. Dude, they got the fax machine phone numbers right on. You don't even need a fax machine anymore. You get a virtual fax machine and just take a screenshot of your document and just fax it to them. I think I'm going to start doing that more. Is like scheduling active.
They're going to block your number. they're going to be. He's sending it again. Just turn it off.
I'll put the call to action in a YouTube video, and then since it's a public number, it's not organized harassment. It's because it's a public number and it's a public office. Obviously, if you're going to post somebody's personal number on Twitter or whatever, maybe even a business. Well, if you're a liberal, you can obviously post a business's phone number and encourage people to harass them, but you can post members of Congress' phone number. So I think we should do that. Imagine that if you're the staff and just all of a sudden, for an entire week, every single phone call is calling about, hey, why aren't you talking about CarpeDonktum's DMCA's not getting reversed? Why don't you tweet out about Twitter not fulfilling the Digital Millennium Act by actually, tending to counter DMCA notices,
right,
and stuff like that. So
yeah, and you and I have had that conversation, privately, like on the phone, quite a bit of times over the last month or so. It's ridiculous that they won't play by their own rules. But I mean, it's not surprising. It's just.
But my point is, we need to, and I'm not just telling this to you, I'm just reminding myself too, and the audience too. We need to get off platform and go old school. Phones.
Well, that's what Democrats are doing. That's like, so these riots and these protests and all of those things. I mean, this is Democrats going offline with their stuff.
Yep.
And now, I'm not suggesting that anyone should riot, but people do need to get back in touch with that. The world is moved by reality, not necessarily. Social media moves the world, but people on the ground actually move the world.
Yeah, not trend hashtags. Yay! Yeah. We got a hashtag to trend. Big deal. That's your.
You want trending in the street. Trending in the street is way better than trending on a hashtag. But
and that's why they do it. For the viral videos. A viral video is going to be 1,000,000 times more powerful than a viral tweet. Yay! Right. Look at this clever tweet that somebody posted versus, on the ground actual.
Look at 100,000 people saying something that's not very clever, but they're all saying it.
And then it just.
Go ahead.
It gets lost in the sea of noise. I mean, God.
This is something that I suggested to Trump several times. Was that towards the beginning and towards the end of 2016, and the beginning of his presidency, he was doing a lot more sort of in-person stuff where he was making big statements and getting those viral videos. And I think over the past 3 years he's done less and less of that stuff. And I was suggesting that when that he should be doing things like showing up at Congress, when instead of whining about stuff on Twitter. Congress is a mile away from the White House, if that. And he would be talking about I can't believe that Congress won't vote on this. Go to the steps of Congress. You can't. I think it's against the law for him to go into Congress without an
invitation.
Without an invitation, but he can go to the steps, and that's what I was saying before. Is make it a moment. You can talk about it on Twitter. That's fine, but if the president of the United States goes to the front steps of Congress and calls a press conference and says, these jerks behind me won't vote on this thing that everybody wants because they're playing this politics game. Guess how fast it's going to move. I mean, nobody wants the president to shame them on the front steps, on their own front steps.
That's why I don't think anybody knows the typical models of predicting the outcome of the election even if they were even remotely reliable, are now completely out the window because you can't do rallies. His rallies were awesome. Mail-in voting, obviously, it could be wrought with fraud. People are going to take grandma's ballot and just be like, no, I don't know, it never came, grandma, or who she has no idea that there's even a mail-in ballots coming, hasn't voted for 20 years, and they're just going to take it and vote for somebody and send it in. I mean, because it takes a specific motivated person to go to the polls, to plan out your day, or to register absentee, and literally go to the post office to get the form, or whenever you vote at the last election to fill out absentee for the next one. That's like a specific motivated person versus somebody who doesn't care to literally go to the polls after work, or leave an hour early for work to go to the polls. So now I don't know what is that going to do to the voting bloc now, because the most motivated people are no longer going to be the ones that are voting. It's going to be even aside from voter fraud and sending in grandma's ballot or your deceased grandma's ballot, then I don't think anybody knows. Like, we're in uncharted territory about how this is going to turn out.
Well, so here's the other thing that I think is also a little bit scary about this election, which I don't know. I honestly don't know if it's really gonna be that big of a factor. But what I'm thinking about is, you remember when Trump won, and none of the liberals thought that it was going to happen, right? There were so many people that were protesting that didn't even vote. And they're like, I didn't vote, but I can't believe that he's president or whatever. Well, so I'm a little bit worried about how many of those people are actually going to vote this time. Now, some of them aren't, because I think they're just, they're either paid protest type of people or just lazy people or whatever. But I'm a little bit worried about having a larger turnout. Hopefully, this Biden thing just kind of tamps down some of that. Because, there's a whole bunch of Bernie bros that don't want to vote now because, they don't want to vote for Joe Biden. I don't blame them, by the way, but...
And God bless Kanye for hopefully siphoning off some of the Democrat vote. He might play a role. And now they're getting pissed at him because he has some Republican operatives helping him, So,
whatever.
I don't know, man. But,
you can't be mad at Kanye and fit in with all of the orthodoxy in the Democratic Party. I'm sorry, you're not allowed to attack Kanye for running as an independent, and then also be a Democrat who's like, Black Lives Matter. No, this is unprecedented, man. My hope is that, and this is what I thought leading into 2016, is a lot of people scared to admit support for him, scared to go to the rallies, scared to publicly. Might even be people whose spouse, happy wife, happy life, right? It might be like, who are you voting for? We're voting for Hillary, right, honey? And then the husband goes into the booth and checks the box for Trump. So that has been exacerbated by probably tenfold this time, because now you're branded as a Nazi. I guess you were back then, but now it's just solidified. Well, it's even worse now.
Yeah. If you support him, so hopefully that'll be the case. But
2017 was the year where it became okay to punch people because you disagree with their opinions. So I think being a Trump supporter is much worse now than it was even then.
But Antifa means anti-fascist. They're fighting the fascists, So I guess if ISIS or Al Qaeda called themselves, friendly Muslims, it would be, hey, they're just
happy unicorns. They're just happy unicorns. I don't know what you're talking about.
Muslims for peace or something,
Because nobody's ever misdescribed themselves. People are always extremely honest about what their intentions are.
China is a republic, didn't you know? The People's Republic of China.
It's the People's Republic.
Yeah.
It's the People's Republic. It's really about fairness. That's what it really is.
Yeah, they have a republic formed just like we do,
All right, Mark, gonna be respectful of your time because I think we're probably over what I asked you, but I really appreciate you coming on because Greg got caught up in the storm and lost his power and all that kind of stuff. So I was really happy that you were able to come on. Give us all your relevant information.
Well, I didn't mean to disrespect you the last few times, and I'm like, oh, I'm later. I'm just too big. But no, it's great to be with you. I'm proud of you. I think you're awesome. I think, very humble too, which, most people get a pretty big ego by, I've been retweeted by the president 15 times. So
it's 23.
But you're allowed, you're allowed a certain level of pride in that. So no, it's great to be with you, man. Find me on YouTube. My channel does actually show up now when you search for me. That was another one of their little tactics that finally got fixed a few months ago. So for like a few years there, after the election, just search for any conservative YouTuber, their channel wouldn't show up.
You still can't find me. Still can't find me.
No.
I tried to look up my own video just I think it was 2 days ago. I couldn't find it. I searched Trump Forever CarpeDonktum, and it came up with somebody else's video.
Well, you might have to. Yeah, you can add keywords to your channel as well, like on the back end.
Yeah.
That might have something to do with it, and then maybe add like Carpe 1 word, Carpe 2 words. Spell it with an O-N. It's like U-N, right? Carpe U-M, right? CarpeDonktum, T-U-M. So spell it with an O-M. See maybe if that'll happen. But no, man.
I'm not that worried about it, but
have a good weekend, dude. I look forward to seeing some of your new work now that Joe Biden will be providing you with plenty of material to work with. And, I'm sure that we'll see.
It'll float around. It's gonna sort of float around and then land on different places. I'm sure. I appreciate it, Mark, and I'll see you around. All right. So, that was my buddy Mark Dice. There was no sound. There was no sound because I was just saying something before he left. But anyway, that's about all I got. I got a few things to do. I've got some house guests this weekend. So I will see you guys later. But please. I'm seeing no sound, but whatever. All right, you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check out the podcast. You can download it and watch it that way. As always, you can find replays of this on CloudHub. You can find it on YouTube. I upload it to BitChute. It's always up on Twitch and all that kind of stuff. So follow me on all the social media. I'm sure you can find out where they are. But thanks for watching. And next week, Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, I will have Greg Gutfeld on. So Greg Gutfeld will join me next week. So make sure to watch then. And
welcome to Carpe's Corner. So happy that you're here. So take a seat, have a tea, or grab yourself a beer. Here at Carpe here at Carpe's Corner.